said, I can't come.
Did I do that? Did I decline it and then?
I think you
Okay.
declined it and then it went away.
Okay.
But it's lovely to see you.
I should always do it tentative.
Hello, I'm David Rothery. I'm the Module Team Chair of S283 Planetary Science and the Search for Life. This module has its final agreed presentation starting in October 2025. It may get a one-year extension beyond that before we bring out a replacement course. I'm just going to switch views on this camera now to show you some books in front of me on the desk here. So here we go. The course is based around books Introduction to the Solar System and Introduction to Astrobiology. Now, although most of the course material is in books, you are guided through it on the module website. Here's last year's website, the October 2023 start. So there's a calendar here telling you what you should be reading when. There are activities, tidal heating activity I'll click on here. This in fact takes you to a video where you can see some very old footage of me talking about how tidal heating happens. It's books backed up by a website. Now the content of the course, it does what it says on the tin, Introduction to the Solar System. This book most recently updated in 2020. Goes through a tour of the solar system. It looks at the internal structure of terrestrial planets. It looks at planetary volcanism. Looks at surface processes on planets. Almost entirely what we concentrate on is cratering, impact cratering. Then the atmospheres of terrestrial planets, the giant planets, minor bodies, asteroids, comets, Pluto, and the origin of the solar system. And then we look at meteorites and what they tell us about how the planets formed. They're nicely illustrated books. There's questions to attempt as you go through. These books are co-published and available on sale in the bookshops. Introduction to Astrobiology, this was most recently updated in 2021. It does Introduction to Life. It does looks at what makes the Earth habitable. It looks at Mars and where life might be on Mars and how it might have started. It looks at life inside icy bodies, moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Warm, cosy places beneath the ice where there could be life. Looks at Titan, a moon of Saturn. Then we'll look at how we detect exoplanets and what exoplanetary systems are like and how we might find life on exoplanets. And then we'll look at the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Again, nicely illustrated books. There's a lot of material to read here. You don't need to work hard on this course, but if you spend 8 to 10 hours a week, you should do fine. There are 3 TMA equivalents through the year split into 4, so it's 4 TMAs you actually do, and at the end of the year you get to an exam. Now let's show you where you would reach for the exam. It's here, the ICME, and you go into the ICME system and you download the exam. Here's what the exam paper looks like. You submit your answers online. But we start with multiple choice questions. You've got officially 3 hours to do the exam. You don't have to submit till 4.5 hours after you've started. So it's a very, very generous hour and a half to upload all your documents at the end or get all your stuff into a single document. So there's 8 multiple choice questions. Some are based around looking at figures. There's a new crater on Mars and we're asking you, what do you make of this freshly excavated stuff around it? There's a light curve of an exoplanet going in front of a star with a couple of questions about it. Those are compulsory. Next 2 parts of the exam have 4 questions each. You have to do a total of 5 of them. So 3 from one part, 2 from another. It's up to you. There's one looking at some geochemical data on meteorites. There's one here looking at this diagram, historical diagram of an impact crater, and we're asking you, is this a typical crater or not, and why? Then you have to make sense of this infrared image of one of the moons of Jupiter, a light curve, or not a light curve, a spectrum of an asteroid. Then we have a question about the tree of life. That's phylogeny. How did life begin? What's the nature of the primitive organisms at the base of the tree of life? There's an image here. What did we tell you? We told you it's a terrestrial planet. What planet is it? And what's been going on here? In fact, these are drainage channels on Mars fed by very, very ancient rainfall. Another unknown body here. No, not unknown. We told you it was Europa, but we asked you to make sense of the geological history of it, the resurfacing history of it, exemplified by all these overlapping features here. And then there was a question about a hypothetical encounter with an alien space probe. So that's the nature of the materials in the course. Most people find it a very enjoyable course, and I hope if you join us for S283, you'll enjoy it and have a great time. The module website is supported by a forum. Let's go to the forums here. There's a cafe forum where students just chat, and that's supported by a buddy. At least one former student will be there to talk you through what's going on. Just give you general advice, informal advice from a student perspective. We have general discussion forums where I often chip in, and then there are tutorial forums. We're split into 2 clusters around the country, and there's lots of posts by individual tutors here. So I hope it's a well supported course. Do come and join us. If you're doing the physics and astronomy pathway, it's a natural course to do. If you're thinking of doing geology, then why just study the Earth? You should study other planets as well. So see if you can fit it in with the geology pathway. And it fits very nicely for students doing the natural sciences pathway as well. So hope to see you in October. Bye.